Brittany. I'm a self-love coach, self-care connoisseur, and supplement enthusiast. This podcast is all about taking your power back in your own life by creating a killer self-care routine and discovering a love for all parts of you. Mind, body, and soul. Being a mom is fucking hard, and that's not even including the mental roller coaster you go on to discover who you are as a person again. I'm here to help you regain your confidence and stop putting yourself on the back burner. Hello. I get so giddy every time I start recording these. Why? I don't know. I just love this so much. This is seriously such a huge passion of mine. Not just this podcast, but a bitch loves to talk, okay? I am definitely okay with admitting that. 2023, y'all. Oh, bitch. She's gonna be killer. And I'm so excited. Not just for me, but to help others transform their lives, your life. And so you just better stay tuned, bitch. If you're not already following me on other social media platforms and you've just listened to me here, you got to do it. Everything is in the description. I'm going to get that straight out the gate. And I'm also going to talk about a program I'm running for the first 3 months of 2023. And I'm so excited. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's just hop right into what the fuck we're talking about today. Overwhelm, bitch. Overwhelm. And chunking down. It can be really, really hard for moms and just women in general, individuals in general, but mostly moms. I feel like we just always have so much on our plate. And so that's why I made this podcast. This is why I have what I have in my social media presence. This is why I do what I do, is because I just see a lack of moms being able to be their true authentic selves and be able to have everything that they want. And it's you have to pick and choose, and no, honey, that is not it. I don't believe in sacrifices. I also don't believe that you can only have one or two things. I believe you can have it all. Is it going to take some outsourcing? Is it going to take some planning and all of that? Abso-fucking-lutely, but it's 100% possible. And some days are harder than others, and that's why it's called Balancing with Brittany, because bitch, we are trying to balance everything in our lives, and be the happiest version of ourselves and have everything that we fucking want. And that's why I'm here. So, let's hop into it, honey. Overwhelm's a bitch, especially when you have kids, especially when you have a family, a home, a career, all of these things. Plus you have to think of your health, your mental health, your physical health, working out, eating healthy, all these things. And that's a lot. It is a lot. And so I just want to take a second before we actually really get started in just celebrating you and holding space for you and helping you know that it's okay to be off your rocker some days. It's okay. You are human. You are allowed to have moments of what feels like weakness or what feels like your world is falling apart. It's okay. Sit with it. Don't run from it. That's where the magic happens in this journey, in this life, in this work. Sitting with it and just feeling it and getting to know it. And not just running from it or pushing it to the side. Getting to know that uncomfortable feeling of overwhelm is a great place to start. It's one of the hardest steps, and that's why some people don't get very far in their journey, or they stop. But kudos to you for doing it. Getting started in this journey, trying your absolute best, doing everything that you can. And that means everything that you can in this moment, in this place. You're listening to this. This is a huge step, taking that action. And just celebrating yourself and knowing that even though you have these overwhelming days, that's going to take you one step closer to having that balance. So taking that, I just want to celebrate you in that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about chunking down, and this can look different from person to person. But what's your intention? What's your overall intention? What's your broad view or your big picture view of what you want, what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's in your life, maybe it's a specific part of your life. But what's your intention? And then I want you to look at your behaviors. Are they matching that? Are they setting you up for success? Are they supporting you? Or are they pulling you away from your goal, your intention? Are they setting you back? That's what I really want you to look at today as we're talking about this. I have this big view of my life being perfectly balanced, or at least I used to. Perfectly balanced, 30 minutes of this, 30 minutes of that. And sometimes that's just not how it goes. If it does and it works for you, great. But some days I don't want to spend 30 minutes working on one thing. Maybe I want to spend 0 minutes, and other days I want to spend 3 hours, that's not always possible with my daughter. But for instance, spending time with my daughter, maybe that's something, I make a priority every single day to do that and really sit down and be present with her, even if it is for only 30 minutes. Some days I don't feel like doing it, but for like 10 minutes, really being present, playing with her and things. But other days I want to spend hours being with her. It's about what your balance looks like day to day. For example, your balance may look different day to day, depending on what you need as a human being, as a person, what others need, what you have going on in your life, all of these other factors that take into play. So your day is going to look different every single day. And that's fine. So we all run protectors and patterns. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. I won't go into too much detail about it. Maybe I'll do a different podcast about the patterns and the protectors. But it's all about things that you've gone through in the womb, in childhood, whatever it is, traumas, instances. Maybe it didn't seem very traumatic to you, but it was just these patterns that you felt like you needed to run as a child or at a younger age, because you weren't receiving what you needed or to feel safe. You can do your own research on these patterns. I'm not really going to tell you exactly what they are. Feel free to do that research. But I'll tell you which ones I typically run. Maybe you can kind of connect with that. And also, I'm just going to tell you the names of each of them. So the 5 patterns are the leaving pattern, merging pattern, enduring, aggressive, and the rigid pattern. And I typically run the rigid pattern, merging, compensated, and then I also run the enduring pattern, and also I'm more of an achiever. So that's a little bit about what I do, what I run. Everyone is going to be a little bit different. You don't have to share these with people. I just chose to. So maybe you can kind of connect with me in that way. You can kind of see what I run, some things that I do. And this does not mean that you need to fix these. This isn't something that you need to over evaluate and try to figure out. I say I run these patterns because it doesn't mean I run them in the way that maybe they're described. I run them in a completely different way now than I used to when I was younger. But these are just some of them that I've used throughout my life, that I still find popping up here and there, that I just notice now. Like, I'm like, you know what? I understand you. I see her as my little girl inside, and I'm like, these are the things that you had to do your whole life to feel protected and safe and loved, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. I give her grace in that. I love her in that, and I just allow her to know that she's safe now. Instead of trying to shove that down and shove her feelings down like maybe others have done throughout her life, I sit with her and I just let her feel safe. And if you've never done child or inner child work, that's a huge thing that I've really been diving into, that and shadow work for the last 6 months, I'd say now. And that is where it gets, like, you have the most amazing transformation and your self-awareness grows, and it's just, it's so beautiful. And you get to know yourself better on a deeper level, and you get to realize how fucking amazing you are. Not because of your achievements, not because of what you have done, what you believe, what you say, but just because you are. Like, you can look in the mirror and you can honestly say, you know what? You're the baddest fucking bitch I know. And because you have been all of this, been through so much, and you still find time to love yourself. And that speaks volumes in itself. So this is my little side note. I guess it's a perfect time to talk about the program that I will be running or am currently running in 2023. I've started promoting it this month and it is killer. It's called the Pretty Bitch Package. I'm so excited. I was so fucking excited. You have no idea. This shit is going to be legendary. Like, for me. This shit is going to be life-changing, transformational, diving deep, all of the stuff that we just really kind of talked about. I felt like it was a perfect time to like segue into this. The inner child work, the shadow work, all the stuff that really, really shows you. Like, you don't have to wait years like I did to really dive into this, to learn about this. Like, you can start January with me, having me as your guide, having me be able to show you the way and support you and just have you in a safe space so that you feel supported in this journey, because it is a ride. It can be difficult at times. It can be amazing and beautiful and transformational, like I said. And so having someone to be there and celebrate you in those moments and support you in those moments and just guide you wherever you need to go, and to have a guide that has so many modalities and techniques and things to use to help you get to that place on your own without telling you where you need to go or what you need to do. And it's just my heart. It just seriously, I could go on and on, but I won't. So that's just what I have to offer. I'll go ahead and talk about the details for just a second, and then we'll hop right back into the actual podcast. So this one, it is either 3 monthly payments of $375. I do have a payment plan. For 3 months, we'll be working together for 12 whole weeks. 3 months, we'll be meeting for 12 hours. So an hour a week. We'll have sit down on a Zoom call or in person if you're local. We can always probably set that up. It would be $1,111. 1111. Come on, baby. I am obsessed with angel numbers, if you can't tell. And also, you'll have full access to me in WhatsApp or Voxer, depending on what you're needing, how you prefer to be supported, through Messenger, like a messaging platform, or through like a voice memo platform. So just depending on that, we could do either one. Throughout, in between, are every week for 1 hour visits. And we're just really going to connect, dive into whatever you need to dive into. I'm here to listen. I'm here to support you. So just know that that is an option. This is just one-on-one with me. So if this is something you are interested in, feel free in messaging me on Instagram. Put something in my Facebook group, wherever you prefer to find me. All of the links will be down below. And now we're going to hop right back into the episode. These are meant, you run these patterns and you have these protectors to protect you, to make you feel loved, to make you feel safe in whatever way that you need in those moments of your life. And then we tend to carry those with us, even though we don't need them. And sometimes they still pop up. It's totally okay. But knowing that they're there, acknowledging them, and then going through with a coach or whoever to help you kind of resolve those and learn that you don't need those anymore on a subconscious level, not just a conscious level, is super important too. And now I'm going to talk about what I have done for myself, just to kind of give you a little bit of an insight into how I do what I do. It took me 3 years. I've talked about this before. It's taken me 3 years to get to this point. That's a long ass time since I've had my daughter, maybe actually closer to 3.5 years. I really started on this journey after I had my daughter. And I realized that I was sick of feeling like I was just in this constant cycle of, okay, I'm going to take all this on and I'm just going to start. I'm going to do it all overnight. how, that's why I talk about starting slow and self-care. Like, this was a pattern that I had run for so long, is I was just, you know what? I feel really shitty. I'm not happy, whatever. I'm just going to cold turkey everything. And I have an episode on that if you want to dive into that. But I'm going to cold turkey everything. I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to do all this shit for my mental, physical, all this stuff for me. I'm going to do it all for me. I'm going to be a boss ass bitch. I'm going to start, posting on social media or doing whatever I want to do and really focus on my career and try to figure out what I want and blah, 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 blah. And that would work okay. It'd give me a boost of energy and motivation. But if you haven't learned by now, motivation is fleeting. You have to have something else that you want, like that lights you up, and consistency. And it's not all about motivation. Just wanting a better life for yourself and stuff that constantly that reminds you of what you're doing it for. And that can be sometimes the hardest part. And yours is going to be different. Again, this is why I highly recommend working with someone, because we can really dive into figuring out how you can do that for yourself. But that's what I did. That's why I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I had no idea. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go from there. I hated the way I was doing it. Obviously, that pattern was not working for me. I would get super motivated and then I would quit within 24 hours of doing really anything. And I just felt like a quitter. I felt like a failure. And if you've ever felt like that, or you feel like that currently, I want you to know that your failure is not a failure. There's no failure, only feedback. And I truly, truly believe that. You're learning. Even if in the moment or now it doesn't feel like you're learning, it feels like you're just failing, in the moment it feels like it's the end of the world sometimes. And just know that's not what this is. Like, you are learning. You're learning about what's working, what's not working, subconsciously and consciously maybe. Trying to figure out what you want in life. And that's okay. That's what we have to do, You try and try and try, and then eventually you'll figure it out. And I didn't have a special magic trick to pull myself out of this pattern. Honestly, I just took time for me. And sometimes that's all it does take, is it just takes time to learn. But getting started on this work, starting with something small versus just trying to do it all overnight, doing that is only going to set you back. Starting with small little things that are tangible, things that seem achievable, those are the things that you want to look into. And these things for me was spending time with myself. That's what I started with after having my daughter, is I just started taking time for myself. And that's why I usually suggest that in the beginning, because it's where I started. Spending 5, 10, and then it'll go up from there. 5, 10, 20, 30, 45, an hour, sometimes even a couple hours now that I spend with myself. Not every day, but at least a couple days a week. I spend an hour to 2 hours in my office working on what I love. And I don't mean you have to be working and that's your alone time. Like, do something that lights you up, that makes you happy. And so when I say self-care and when I talk about self-care online, people say, oh, bubble baths and fucking all these like a hot shower. A hot shower is a necessity. Take a long shower if that's where you have to start. Whatever you need to do, just make it better than what it was today. Like, that's all that you can ever ask for. And that's all I ever ask of people, is just improve just a little bit, or add on to it over time. Whatever. You don't want to step completely out of your comfort zone. You don't want to jump like if you've never jumped into a pool, you're not going to start from like the highest board or whatever the fuck they call them, the highest point into the deepest part of the pool. It's just like not what you're gonna do. You want to start slow. Okay, let me get comfortable with this first. Okay, I got comfortable with that. Let's go to the next step, and so on. Having titration in that and working your way through it. It's really the best, the most effective way to become the highest, the best version of yourself, if that's your goal, is starting slow. And I'm going to give you a little homework, okay? And I want you to seriously hold yourself accountable to this. First, I want you to go to the link below about my email list. And I want you to get your free extended 23 pages of goodness, self-love, and self-care guide. This is the perfect way to start on your journey. This has everything, ideas, tips, tricks, whatever, journal prompts, affirmations, all these things that you can use to start on your journey. Get it down below. It is awesome. I've had a few people reach out, be like, this is exactly what I needed. I just put it out for everyone for free a few days ago. So this is your chance to hop on it and get it and download it. And it's hella cute. So you can print it out, whatever you want to do, use it every day, hang it on your wall, whatever helps you hold yourself accountable, and do that and just start with it. Look at it, read through it one day, okay? Maybe you just flip through it one day, the next day maybe you read through it. It doesn't have to be swift, and it doesn't have to be 3-6 months. You know what I'm saying? Take the time that you need when you need it. So I just want to know that you have my support in this. You can message me anytime if you have any questions about this guide. Going through this, maybe you only take a few little things from this guide. That is totally fine. This is meant for however you need it. Use it however you feel like you need it, one day to the next. Just use it as a resource. Use it as something that you can get started on in your journey, and let me know how it goes. You can always, tag me in your stories on Instagram using the guide, showing me, print it out or not, doesn't matter, showing me some of the things that you're doing. I would love to see it. It makes me so happy. And even just messaging me, asking questions, anything like that, I am here for you. I am here to support you and help you on this journey. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a review and share with another mama who could use some support. If you'd like to connect with me elsewhere, I'm on Instagram and TikTok. All my social links will be in the show notes. And just remember to love yourself and do something for you every single day.